Man, salute at the lounge. Beautiful, you're first in the building during survival. I'm going to give everyone time to come in the building. And of course, we're going to meditate. Candles are lit, ladies and gentlemen. We give everybody time to come in the building. We must meditate for Nicki Minaj. She did it to herself, ladies and gentlemen. Nicki Minaj has done it to herself. And y'all can't get mad. I don't want to hear it. The shit is getting crazy. So I'm going to give y'all time. Shout out to everybody coming in the building. Nicki Minaj and Dom Lemon's whole back and forth joint is getting super crazy right now, guys. And now Dom Lemon and all of his fan base and Nicki Minaj's fan base are calling for her deportation. So this shit is wild, guys. Shout out to Erica in the building. She said, checking in from Cali Town. I always believe you, Jamil. Pure survival. Thank you so much, Erica. Nicki Minaj, man, like, she said and was I mean, I guess allegedly kissing Donald Trump's tasty cakes. And I don't know if that's going to be good enough for her not to be deported back to I forget the name of that damn country that she's from, Trinidad. You know what I'm saying? This is wild, man. I got to give y'all time to come in the building. You know what I mean? Y'all got to understand, YouTube is very sensitive about captions, and I'm just keeping it real in the caption. Nicki Minaj crashed out on Dom Lemon, and she's making fun of Dom Lemon because Dom Lemon's husband is a Caucasian man. When so what if Dom Lemon's loves pink peckers? What does that got to do with anything? He has a husband. You know what I'm saying? But Nicki Minaj is sitting there making fun because her husband, because Dom Lemon's husband is a white guy. What would make, you know what I'm saying? Like that's his lover. That's his lover that he holds near and dear to his heart. You know what I mean? That's there to hold him and spoon at night when he farts. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dom Lemon because Dom Lemon came back like Jesus, far as being a social person, having his own platform to where he doesn't have to deal with CNN and different things like that. You know what I mean? And everybody's mad at Dom Lemon because Dom Lemon went out there to Minnesota and he wasn't protesting with the people. He was out there getting the footage, but they're blaming Dom Lemon as if he walked and stormed into the church, like how they stormed the Capitol, Pure Bible, and he was in there with the people going off. Because everybody's saying that Dom Lemon was disrespecting Christianity, and I don't know. I don't think that Dom Lemon was disrespecting Christianity, but if that's what y'all believe, then y'all have a right. But Nicki Minaj was kissing Donald Trump's toupee and kissing his rear end, and I guess Dom Lemon wants Donald Trump to deport her, and there's thousands and thousands of other people that want Nicki Minaj deported at once. You know what I'm saying? Because Nicki Minaj alleged brother is a child sex predator, allegedly, and her boyfriend is. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Dom is like, damn, okay, I got a white wiener that I love and everything like that. You can say that about me, but what about your sex predator husband? What about your sex predator husband, Nicki Minaj? You know what I mean? Smash that like button, guys. You know what I mean? Candles are lit. And I want y'all to know the Pure Survival candles, www.puresurvivalmerch.com. Make sure y'all go because the Pure Survival candles are coming, guys. I just looked at the banner. You know what I'm saying? It's super fire. I can't wait for the Pure Survival candles to come. But the labels, it looks fire. So make sure y'all go to www.puresurvivalmerch.com. You know what I mean? And get y'all's today. And if you see my beard shining like that, y'all see the beard shining? You got to get you some Pure Survival beard oil. All of this will protect you from these sick entities in Hollywood. But Nicki Minaj, the people want you gone. The people want her gone. And don't get mad at me because Nicki Minaj already said, look, I'm MAGA. And but the MAGA people, they want her to stay, but the other people want her to go. After she did this.
The utmost respect and admiration for our president. This administration is full of people with heart and soul. And they make me proud of them. Our vice president, he makes me, well, I love both of them, but they're both powerful men, smart, strong, all of that, but both of them have a very uncanny ability to be someone that you relate to. I can relate to them. When I hear them speak, I know that they're...
See, she said that she could relate to Donald Trump and she could relate to the other presidents and everybody in MAGA. But the people feel like Nicki Minaj, you're not even from this country. Pure Survival. The people in your fan base, the LBG community, you know what I'm saying? The people from different countries, they're saying, how can you relate to Donald? How could you relate to them, but you can't relate to us no more? We the ones that made you a millionaire. Pure Survival. You know what I'm saying? Nicki Minaj had a huge LBG community fan base. And now she's disrespecting the LBG community by talking about Dom Lemon's husband and Dom Lemon's husband's white, his pink pecker. And now they want her gone.
The petition has went viral. Deport Nicki Minaj to Trinidad. She's not a U.S. citizen, and we want her the hell out of the United States of America. Do you support deporting Nicki Minaj to Trinidad? The petition has went viral. Deport Nicki Minaj to Trinidad. She's not a U.S. citizen, and we want her the hell out of the United States of America. Do you support deporting Nicki Minaj to Trinidad?
They want Nicki Minaj gone, ladies and gentlemen. They want her out of here. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Dom Lemon wants her deported as well. Smash that like button. Don't get mad at me because I don't care if Nicki Minaj is MAGA. I don't care if she's Democrat. I don't care. But what she said about Dom Lemon has the LBG community outraged.
And her response to all of this and the language that she used. I think it's interesting just because Nicki has been, over the last couple of months, made it clear that she is now publicly supporting, and I think maybe she has all along, but now publicly making known her support for the Trump administration and even the MAGA movement. The choice of words that she used to go after you, I'm not surprised she went after you.
Homophobic.
Yeah. I don't think you have to black it out. You should show it to people. She called me Don, sea sucker lemon is disgusting. Look, this is what I'll say.
Now, do y'all think that Nicki Minaj was right for calling Dom Lemon a sea sucker? A sea sucker? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that she's right by calling Dom Lemon a sea sucker. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think that she's wrong. Because technically, this would be disrespecting the LBG community. You know, Nicki Minaj has a strong LBG fan base, guys. Pure survival. So what if he loves wieners? He loves wieners on his hot dog buns. That he loves a wiener on his hot dog buns. And so what if his husband is white? Pure survival. You know what I'm saying? Why did Nicki Minaj come for this man like that when he had nothing to do with running into that church? Guys. And look at all the people that got a one in the chat. Y'all believe that Dom Lemon is okay that Nicki Minaj called him a sea sucker? Y'all don't think that's disrespecting the LBG community?
Phobic. Yeah. I don't think you have to black it out. You should show it to people. She called me Don, sea sucker lemon is disgusting. Look, this is what I'll say to Nicki Minaj. I normally don't respond to things like this, but F it. I'm going to do it this time. I think Nicki Minaj has made it very clear how she feels about African Americans in this country. Boy, I don't think she's one of them, obviously. And she should, under Trump's rules, she should be deported because I don't think, reportedly, that she is a legal citizen here. She is undocumented. And so she has shown her disdain.
Now, put a one in the chat if y'all agree with Dom Lemon that Nicki Minaj should be deported. Put a two in the chat if y'all disagree that Nicki Minaj shouldn't be deported. You know what I'm saying? Now, you shouldn't deport her just because she called him a wiener sucker. You know what I'm saying? Just because she called him that. But why did she go at Dom Lemon so hard in his sexuality, knowing that the LBG community loves Nicki Minaj music? So now the LBG community wants her out of here. They want her out of here all over the comments.
Don't respond to things like this, but F it. I'm going to do it this time. I think Nicki Minaj has made it very clear how she feels about African Americans in this country. Boy, I don't think she's one of them, obviously. And she should, under Trump's rules, she should be deported because I don't think, reportedly, that she is a legal citizen here. She is undocumented. And so she has shown her disdain for African Americans. So why are you supporting her? Why are you buying her records? She's also supporting, I have lots of gay friends who love Nicki Minaj. Why are you supporting this homophobic, bigoted, ignorant woman?
Wow, see? Even Dom Lemon said that all his gay friends, they love Nicki Minaj. Pure survival. So for the LBG community to know that Nicki Minaj look at all of them as just wiener suckers. She just looks at them as wiener suckers. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of crazy if you went out and bought her CD and you know that you with the LBG community and she just looks down on you as just nothing but a wiener sucker. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know Dom Lemon's husband was white. I didn't even know that. Like, it doesn't really make a difference to me, pure survival. And clearly he don't give a damn. It's not like he's backing away from what she said, but that's homophobic. That's homophobic of her. Smash that like button, guys.
Don't think, reportedly, that she is a legal citizen here. She is undocumented. And so she has shown her disdain for African Americans. So why are you supporting her? Why are you buying her records? She's also supporting, I have lots of gay friends who love Nicki Minaj. Why are you supporting this homophobic, bigoted, ignorant woman? You should not be supporting her. Nicki Minaj, this is clearly out of her depth. She doesn't understand politics. She doesn't understand journalism. And I'm not surprised that she is weighing in on something that is beyond her capacity. What I will say to her is, because she put a doll, I think she put the Chucky doll in there, a better symbol that should have been represented in that picture is a pick-me doll, because Nicki Minaj is a pick-me. She will do anything that is.
Wow. Put a one in the chat if y'all agree with Dom Lemon that Nicki Minaj is a pick-me doll. Put a two in the chat if y'all disagree. Cause she put a transgender Chucky doll up in her post, making fun of Dom Lemon. You know what I'm saying? But he's saying that she's a pick-me doll. She just wants to get picked, and she wants Donald Trump to pardon her alleged child sex predator family members.
Understand journalism, and I'm not surprised that she is weighing in on something that is beyond her capacity. What I will say to her is, because she put a doll, I think she put the Chucky doll in there, a better symbol that should have been represented in that picture is a pick-me doll, because Nicki Minaj is a pick-me. She will do anything that is expedient for her politically. And again, she's ignorant. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's always weighing in on things that she doesn't know about. Nicki Minaj should just sit the fuck down And by the way, isn't she married to an alleged pedophile? And
Whoa, he says she need to sit her effing fake butt having ass down. Isn't she married to a child sex predator? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all agree with Dom Lemon. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all disagree. Dom Lemon ain't backing down from Nicki Minaj, nor is he backing down from her butt implants. This is crazy, guys. Smash that like button.
pick me doll, because Nicki Minaj is a pick me. She will do anything that is expedient for her politically. And again, she's ignorant. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's always weighing in on things that she doesn't know about. Nicki Minaj should just sit the fuck down. And by the way, isn't she married to an alleged pedophile? And she has the nerve to say something disparaging about and something homophobic. I'm pretty sure that maybe that's part of the reason that she is cozying up to the Trump administration for some sort of leniency for her family members. And it's just very transparent. So Nicki Minaj.
Wow. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that Nicki Minaj became MAGA because she's trying to get her brother and her husband leniency for their child sex predator behavior, if she's trying to get a pardon, or put a 2 in the chat if y'all think Nicki Minaj just became MAGA because that's what she really believe in. Or is she trying to get something out of Donald Trump? Smash that like button, guys. Everybody get them likes up.
Is she married to an alleged pedophile? And she has the nerve to say something disparaging about and something homophobic. I'm pretty sure that maybe that's part of the reason that she is cozying up to the Trump administration for some sort of leniency for her family members. And it's just very transparent. So Nicki Minaj, F off, stop being a homophobic bigot, and get a life and some brains.
Wow. So that's how Dom Lemon feel. But see, everybody's mad at Dom Lemon because of this thing that happened in the church. Smash that like button. So one of the guys in the church, I guess he was like a preacher, the people of Minnesota, Dom Lemon was outside recording these people as they stormed the church.
Well, anti-ICE protesters, get this, storming a church in St. Paul, Minnesota, disrupting services to confront the pastor who they allege is working with ICE. And the DOJ says enough.
Now, I got a question for y'all. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that it's Dom Lemon's fault for the people storming the church. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all don't think that this is Dom Lemon's fault that the people stormed the church in Minnesota. Because this is why they mad. This is why Nicki Minaj is mad at Dom Lemon. Said that they interrupted a church service. You know, when we had a dude that went and shot this black church and killed all these black people in the church. Y'all remember that dude that went in the church and killed all them black people? You know what I'm saying? You remember the church last year where those little kids got killed in the church? Nobody talks about that no more. You know what I mean? But the fact that they went and stormed this church right here and stopped the services, Nicki Minaj blamed it all on Dom Lemon.
Well, anti-ICE protesters, get this, storming a church in St. Paul, Minnesota, disrupting services to confront the pastor who they allege is working with ICE. And the DOJ says enough is enough. AG Pam Bondi, quote, says this: attacks against law enforcement and the intimidation of Christians are being met with the full force of federal law. If state leaders refuse to act responsibly to prevent lawlessness, the DOJ will remain mobilized to prosecute federal crimes and ensure that the rule of law prevails. DOJ senior advisor Alina Habba joins us now. Alina, your reaction to what the AG has said, and that is, we're going to investigate this. Is that the protesters or is that the mayor and governor for inciting?
That's everybody. That's everybody. The FACE Act is a long-standing federal statute that prohibits force, threats, obstruction, any kind of interference with a religious place of worship. And it carries.
See, so they saying any interruptions of a religious place, they're going to be charging these people. And to me, I feel like there was a lot of interruptions in churches before, in actual killings and everything inside of churches. And I feel like nothing really happened about it. You know what I'm saying? And this is what D.L. Hughley had to say about Nicki Minaj going at Dom Lemon. D.L. Hughley was mad at her for disrespecting Dom Lemon because they friends. You know what I'm saying?
Today is a momentous day for a lot of reasons. We're celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But the backdrop is what it is right now. What do you think he would feel about this?
He would be disappointed at some of the things he was fighting for. He's still able. And I think that ultimately, he oftentimes is used as a slogan, but nobody ever really embraces the true meaning of his message. The American president has said that he's not above using force to protect their rights. He encouraged those people over there to be violent and to be destructive, while he's willing to use the might and power of the United States military to quell, to attack the government there for being oppressive, while using the power of the government here to squelch free speech. So it just seems hypocritical. I think ultimately it is more familiar than it is. This is not new. This is retro.
There was a whole scene that unfolded at this church.
Right.
You saw this, right? Nicki Minaj going after Don Lemon. You see this, like for reporting it.
What's so funny to me, people hate. It's so funny how many on the right hate. They hate transgender and gay people more than they do pedophiles. It's amazing to me. Nicki don't need to worry about Don. She need to be with damn Don Lemon. Nicki Minaj need to be worried about Chris Hansen.
Wow. So D.L. Hughley said Nicki Minaj shouldn't be worried about Dom Lemon. Nicki Minaj should be worried about Chris Hansen. And y'all know Chris Hansen is from How to Catch a Predator. How to Catch a Predator. So this is crazy. Now, y'all can hear it from yourself of what Nicki Minaj was saying about Dom Lemon and Dom Lemon's Caucasian husband. Dom Lemon's Caucasian husband that she just went off on, you know what I'm saying? All because Dom Lemon was recording in Minnesota at that church. Now they want Nicki Minaj. He's calling for Nicki Minaj to get deported. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if Trump going to defend Nicki Minaj or what, but these are the things Nicki Minaj said. Oh my God, TMZ, boy, y'all don't play about them commercial ads. Shout out to TMZ, but I get it. They don't play. You know what I'm saying? But do y'all, put a 1 in the chat, do y'all blame Dom Lemon for what happened in the church? Put a 2 in the chat if y'all don't blame him. Because all he actually did was go record the footage. He didn't actually go into the church. But they're acting like Dom Lemon went into church, him and his husband and everything else. Like, that's what Nicki Minaj is saying. But listen to what Nicki Minaj said.
Trying to find celebrities at LAX. He's like out there on the street. He's interviewing. He's gone around the country interviewing everyone. But I just relate to him. I relate to him just being a street journalist. And people are just going off at Don Lemon right now because he covered like a protest. He covered a protest where these people, and whether or not you agree with it or not, that's beside the point with Don Lemon, but these people went inside a church while the church was doing a service in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, and basically just against all the ICE, everything going on in their town, in their city. And Don Lemon being a reporter at like the event outside.
Now y'all hear what he's saying. Dom Lemon was just the reporter outside of the church. He had nothing to do with them storming the church. From what I'm gathering, ladies and gentlemen, but Nicki Minaj blamed Dom Lemon and blanked his Caucasian husband. That's what I'm saying.
Beside the point with Don Lemon, but these people went inside a church while the church was doing a service in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, and basically just against all the ICE, everything going on in their town and their city. And Don Lemon, being a reporter at like the event outside, followed the people in, covering it as a journalist. Journalists are allowed to do that. And now everyone is attacking him. Specifically for our purposes, being TMZ, a celebrity channel, Nicki Minaj is coming at him. So also, I mean, Don Lemon's gay, and that's only relevant because Nicki Minaj went on Twitter called Don Cocksucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in.
Did you hear that? Nicki Minaj called Dom Lemon a sea sucker and that she wants him in jail. Dom Lemon wants Nicki Minaj to be deported and she want him as a sea sucker to be put in jail. Appears on Bible. Because it's more seas to suck in jail is what Nicki Minaj is saying, guys. You know what I'm saying? And you see the person in the chat said, Jamil got sugar in his tank. If you if you're not comfortable with your sexuality, you would take that as an insult. Me, I take it as funny. Pure survival. That was hilarious what you said, sir. I'm not even gonna put nuts in your mouth for that. That was funny. But do y'all think Nicki Minaj is wrong for this?
Specifically for our purposes, being TMZ, a celebrity channel, Nicki Minaj is coming at him. So also, I mean, Don Lemon's gay, and that's only relevant because Nicki Minaj went on Twitter called Don Cocksucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. No, he's not doing it to a religion. He's just like following the story. He's not protesting.
Look, these is Nicki Minaj's words. And like he just said, Dom Lemon wasn't doing it to no religion. All he was doing was being a journalist. You know what I'm saying? Just recording people. Look, Nicki Minaj right here. She said, Dom sucking lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. She called Dom Lemon a bone thug in harmony. She called him a gay bone thug in harmony group member. That's crazy.
He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. No, he's not doing it to a religion. He's just like following the story. He's not protesting. He's not holding a sign. He's being a journalist. It's like when there was the insurrection and people stormed the Capitol. Most of the footage we see and look at is from journalists inside the Capitol too, taking video of what's going on so that we, the public, can see. That's what journalists do. They kind of report the truth. They cover everything. That's why journalists aren't banned from these sort of things. If there's a story, journalists are allowed to cross that and follow the story so that we can learn the truth as a people. That is what we should all want. I don't know why, but some people don't want the truth anymore. And so Don Lemon is now under attack. Basically, people calling for him to be like arrested or deported or like, because he was a journalist. He was just being a journalist.
So they want Dom Lemon arrested and deported. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want Dom Lemon arrested and deported. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all don't think that Dom Lemon should be arrested and deported. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that is crazy. You know, it make you not even want to go and be a part of that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't even go record the footage, because if you go record or anything like that, people going to look at it like, look, you are a part of this. You know what I mean? But Nicki Minaj, people been wanting her deported ever since she showed that she was a MAGA person.
People who are like, Nicki has 200 million followers on social. Why does she care if a bunch of people unfollowed her for going to America Fest?
What's this then, huh? What's this? You won't do anything, but it's still funny.
Breaking news, Nicki Minaj quietly steps back from Trump cheerleading after facing over 120,000 signatures calling for her deportation. This is according to Inquisitor. They say that the irony was almost too perfect to ignore, and here was one of hip-hop's biggest names, a self-made mogul who spent years criticizing Donald Trump and his immigration policies.
And I didn't know that Nicki Minaj spent years. She spent years going at Donald Trump and going at him deporting people. Ain't this the reason why Donald didn't give Diddy a pardon? Because Diddy was stabbing him in the back when they were supposed to be friends. So Nicki was going against the Donald Trump administration at first. You know what I'm saying? Standing up about people being deported because she was from another country. And then she got all of these LBG community fans. Now she's turning her back on the LBG community and turning her back on people that born in other countries. This is what they think. Don't get mad at me.
Perfect to ignore, and here was one of hip-hop's biggest names, a self-made mogul who spent years criticizing Donald Trump and his immigration policies, suddenly sharing stages with his supporters and appearing to embrace the MAGA movement. They go on to say, but fans began organizing deportation petitions against her, complete with over 120,000 signatures combined. Nicki Minaj seemingly got the message. Since late December, the 43-year-old has gone radio silent, even deleting her Instagram after restarting it again and retreating from the inflammatory post that had ignited a firestorm among her loyal fan base. For years, she has been outspoken about immigration issues, drawing from her own deeply personal journey. She made it clear that she was against Trump's hardcore immigration policy, but something shifted in recent months. Her opinion.
And what they're saying shifted with Nicki Minaj is that her alleged child sex predator brother and boyfriend is why she actually got down with Donald. She's not like a real loyal MAGA person. She's just trying to get a pardon. This is what they're allegedly saying. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going to happen, if they're going to deport Nicki Minaj or if they're going to deport Dom Lemon. I don't know.
From her own deeply personal journey, she made it clear that she was against Trump's hardcore immigration policy, but something shifted in recent months. Her appearance at Turning Point USA America Fest in December marked a turning point for her fans as she shared the stage with prominent Trump supporter Erica Kirk, the widow of the slain commentator Charlie Kirk. That move alone left fans reeling. Social media erupted with disappointment and anger as supporters, literally supporters who campaigned her for years, felt betrayed by what they literally perceived as a complete political about-face. Suddenly, the woman who criticized Trump's immigration policy for years is doing a photo op alongside his most vocal cheerleaders. Of course, the backlash did not stay confined to just Twitter threads and disappointment comment sections. Within weeks, 2chains.org petitions garnered over 120,000 signatures calling for Nicki Minaj's deportation back to Trinidad and Tobago. One petition.
Wow, 120,000 petitions people are signing wanting Nicki Minaj gone. You know what I mean? And you got protesters right now that are out speaking about how they don't regret storming that church. This is a protester that was there, and she says she don't regret it at all.
We found out through the ACLU lawsuit that David Easterman, I keep saying his name wrong, Easterwood, was a pastor at this church on Summit Avenue. And for us, that's just really, it was like the lowest bar. It's like, you know, you have these people in our community just really terrorizing our children and our women and our different immigrant communities. They're arresting U.S. citizens and doing all of this illegal stuff, all the way down to even the most graphic murder of Renee Good. And then we have the head of this whole operation standing in a pulpit preaching to a congregation every Sunday morning. And so that was really just not okay for us. I believe that's what needed to be done to get the message across. I mean, my mother is a pastor, and so I grew up in Christianity. I grew up in the church. And one of the things that I remember about Jesus Christ himself is that when things weren't going right in the church, he went in and he flipped tables.
See, and I knew that y'all was going to make fun of this woman's head and her teeth, but y'all got to listen to her message. I can't sit here and let y'all call her cricket teeth. Yes, her teeth is cricket, but she feels as though that was supposed to happen. But I'm not going to let y'all call her Mrs. Potato Head or make fun of her teeth. I'm just not going to let y'all do that.
Yeah, I grew up in the church. And one of the things that I remember about Jesus Christ himself is that when things weren't going right in the church, he went in and he flipped tables. You know, as Christians, I truly believe in following Christ. I don't follow a pastor. I don't follow an ideology. I truly study the Bible and I truly study Jesus Christ and how he was able to demonstrate the love for the people and really confront things that were wrong in the community and society, really, and stand on what God expected of him, which was love.
See, so she's speaking about love and God, guys, and y'all sitting there saying that it looked like she eat rocks, that her teeth look like she eat rocks. I'm not gonna let y'all say that.
I mean, why do they have time to investigate something like that? And they're not even looking at the Epstein files and Donald Trump's affiliation with that. We need to be investigating who killed Renee Good. We should be investigating who killed Keith Porter. There's so much crime and so much terrorism happening in our communities that peaceful protesters really going into a space to educate the community about immoral practices should not be the center point of our DOJ. There's a lot of money in the DOJ and there's a lot of crimes that are actually happening. I mean, our president himself has 34 felonies. And so why aren't we investigating those type of things? Why aren't we?
Wow. Now I know that's gonna piss the MAGA people off. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all agree with her. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all want her to go somewhere and sit down. Because she just said that y'all worried about everybody else, but Donald Trump got 30-something felonies. I know that'll piss y'all off. You know what I'm saying? Look, see, I'm seeing the twos come in. And I don't really speak on this. As you see, look, they won't send a bunch of people in this motherfucker when I'm talking about this. That's why I don't even like talk about this. You know what I'm saying? But here and there, I'll come over and may, react to this stuff, right? Because I'm not on either side. You know what I'm saying? Like this woman that got drug out this car, she just came out and spoke. Y'all remember the woman that got drug out the car by ICE and they drug her out? She's speaking for the first time. Remember this woman? Y'all remember this girl right here? And how ICE roughed her all up like this? Pure survival? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that this is the right thing to do. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think that this is wrong. That they dragging this girl out like that. That they roughing her up like this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I told you I'm not getting in the middle of this. Like, sweetheart, I'm telling you right now, if you notice, if I'm talking about this kind of shit, a lot of people, they don't YouTube, my people, they here for celebrity gossip. So I don't really like even speaking on this because they won't push it. Look, now they want to push it. But do y'all think this was right or wrong?
By now, you've probably seen this video from Minneapolis. A woman being dragged from her car while driving through a protest against President Trump's immigration crackdown. She was arrested 2 blocks from where an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good a week before. You heard her screaming, "I'm disabled," as agents carried her by her arms and her legs from her own car. Tonight, we know her name, Alia Rahman. And in just a minute, you'll hear from her for the first time in an exclusive interview. Alia
Now
says,
y'all see that? Smash that like button. I got Alia, the girl that was fighting, screaming she was disabled. She's speaking out for the first time. So y'all can smash that like button. Even if y'all don't care and y'all wanted to go back to a country, you know what I mean? I'm saying this goes for the people that think that this was okay and the people that don't think it was okay. You know what I mean? This is exclusive. You got to give it to her. She wasn't backing down. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I would have been fell out. They wouldn't have had that problem with me. I'm not fighting back. Lock me up. We're gonna figure it out while I'm locked up. I don't play with police.
she was never part of the protest that day. She was simply just trying to go to her doctor's appointment. But in a statement, the Homeland Security Department called Rahman a, quote, agitator, adding she, quote, ignored multiple commands by an officer to move her vehicle away from the scene. She was arrested for obstruction. The Minneapolis Police Chief, Brian O'Hara, he watched the video. He sees it differently.
Obviously, I don't know why law enforcement officers initially approached the vehicle.
See, so listen, are y'all mad at this cop right here? Are y'all mad? Because the cop said that it was wrong how ICE was beating and dragging that woman out of her car. This man right here, he feel like it was wrong. Are y'all gonna cuss him out? Y'all gonna call him a wiener sucker? Y'all, what are y'all gonna do about this guy? Because he think it was wrong.
He watched the video. He sees it differently.
Obviously, I don't know why law enforcement officers initially approached the vehicle. It pisses me off to see that. To see men doing that to a woman who's disabled. It pisses me off. If those cops works for me, they'd have a problem right now.
Whoa.
With me now are...
Damn, so it pissed him off. He said if them cops worked for him, he would have kicked their ass pretty much. This is the woman right here speaking out for the first time after getting dragged and plunger and roped up by ICE.
Rahman and her attorney, Alexa Van Brunt, thank you both for being here. Alia, I want to start with you because this has been viral. People have seen this video over and over again. People have many opinions. This is what happened to you. It is your life. It is your journey. But the government, they're calling you an agitator. So can you just help me understand? Walk me through what happened in those moments before these agents dragged you from your car.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Laura. And happy birthday, Dr. King. I'm really happy that you asked this question, right? Because I have been so concerned that folks might be distracted from the real issue at hand by instead debating why I proceeded slowly through a militarized traffic jam full of pedestrians and a cacophony of conflicting instructions. I was on my way to the doctor. I was on a main road that is a direct road from my house to the parking lot. Suddenly there's traffic in the road. There are vehicles blocking it ahead, vehicles that later I understood were ICE vehicles. People around me trying to understand what to do. And I think that you see the rest.
So you weren't, I mean, in the beginning, you see the federal agents saying something to you before you were dragged out. They say that you were given what they call repeated warnings. I just heard you say this cacophony of conflicting commands. What were they saying to you? What did you understand to be happening?
Well, I think I didn't understand what was happening, right? I am a disabled person who has autism, right?
So she has autism, guys. So when ICE was dragging her up out the car, her having autism, look, somebody said she was not disabled. Well, she's saying that she is. You know what I'm saying? She looked like there's nothing wrong with her, but we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she's saying she got autism. So maybe she didn't have no idea what was happening. Look, see, oh, look, somebody says she is disabled now. She's not blind. See, people got their different opinions.
That is a big piece of this. But I think even someone who doesn't have the kind of auditory processing challenges I do would not know what to do with the sentence, move, I will break your effing window. And then back and forth between move, get out, trying to open my door, more threats of breaking a window, which I don't understand the functional purpose of, and it's not a warning, it's a threat of violence that really shouldn't be packaged with an instruction. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to tell you about what my ears hear in that situation, but in my ears, my autism also comes with an auditory sorting challenge, where multiple human voices at like a loud party or on a chaotic street.
Wow, okay. So her autism calls for her to have multiple different human voices playing in her head at once. Put a one in the chat if y'all believe her. Put a two in the chat if y'all think that she's lying through her nose ring. Y'all let me know. She said her autism make her hear multiple voices. You know what I'm saying? Put a two if y'all think she's lying through her nose ring. Like I'm kind of seeing more. I'm seeing a lot of ones, but I'm seeing a lot of twos too. I don't know. Look, somebody says she don't need to be driving. Uh, she really, what the fuck? I don't know. That's called, damn, I can't even pronounce what you put right there. She don't need to be a voting. God damn, y'all stop her ass from voting and everything. But this is what she's saying, guys.
Sound like they're the person talking to me. So that's one reason, you see me looking and trying to identify which lips are talking to me. But of course, that's not possible because ICE officers wear things that cover their mouths and faces except for their eyes, right?
So it is so informative for you to explain what it was personally like for you, for us to have watched the video and now to understand at least a part of what you were experiencing in that, because there is a conflicting report from their vantage point that tries to explain what you were thinking or feeling, and you've done it yourself. But I want to be clear, you say you were not there to protest ICE. You were there on your way to an appointment and you stopped in the traffic and I got the conflicting reports and commands. Were you there to protest ICE? Had you ever protested ICE before? And that.
So the woman says she wasn't a part of the protest. Put a one in the chat if y'all believe her. Put a two in the chat if y'all think she's lying through her nose ring. If she know damn well she was there protesting, it just got ugly like Flavor Flav. You know what I mean? What do y'all think? You got some people saying they believe. Look, some people saying it sound like BS that she knew she was out there what she was doing. It just got crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I really, really don't know. And as I told y'all, I don't even really like speaking on these political type of things. If Nicki Minaj is gonna get deported, if Dom Lemon and his husband and his Caucasian husband's going to get deported. I just reacted to it because it's not a lot going on in Hollywood right now. But clearly, when I speak about this is not relevant. This is not relevant to me, to my algorithm. You know what I mean? But I just did it for y'all because this is what's the latest. So let's hear if this lady tells the truth or not.
No.
So when you went that day and you were detained, as you said, what was that like for you once you were? What happened after they took you?
Number one, I experienced a very specific set of dehumanization practices during the 6 stages of detention and processing that I counted before I went unconscious and was taken out in an ambulance.
All right, so when ICE drug her out the car, at some point she went unconscious. Put a one in the chat if y'all think she went unconscious. Put a two in the chat if y'all think that that's a lie and she's capping. I'll let y'all answer that question. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, guys, this is the reason why I don't like speaking on this stuff. This is a very touchy situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on either side. Okay? I'm just in the middle. I'm just reacting to the shit. But this reminded me I don't want to react to this type of shit no more. Cause it's too much like it's too much beef. Too much political beef to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's a touchy situation. Religion, you know what I mean? All that type of stuff. This is a learning lesson. Jamil, don't even do it again. You know what I'm saying?
DL, come on into the program.
Hey, baby boy.
On the screen next to what?
Yeah, I've never been next to a black Klansman before. It's Don Lemon's gonna start Black Klansman too. It's crazy. It's crazy.
DL.
It's crazy.
So you saw what's happening, right? You probably know more about it than I do because I've been so busy all day. What do you think?
I do. I think this is an example of them perverting Dr. King's legacy and the history of civil rights and the history of race relations in this country to their own ends. It's interesting that people are angry with you for, I guess Black Lives Matter found out that somebody associated with the church in St. Paul was the acting director of ICE, and Black Lives Matter staged a protest that you happened to cover. But what's more interesting is Black Lives Matter was protecting and fighting for the rights of Renee Good, a white woman, while All Lives Matter were paying money to her murderers.
Wow, did y'all hear that? He said All Lives Matter was paying money for Renee Good's murderer. All Lives Matter was donating money for the ICE agent that took Renee Good's life. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that that's wrong. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think it's right that people was paying money to help the guy who did the shooting. I think they put up at least like $1 million. They raised $1 million for him. I said, God damn, $1 million?
And fighting for the rights of Renee Good, a white woman, while All Lives Matter were paying money to her murderers. And so it's we find ourselves, and it is Dr. King's birthday, and we're honoring it. But we got to remember, Dr. King gave a speech. One of his famous speeches was a eulogy for the 4 Black girls that were killed in the Birmingham church bombing. So, you can't use church. They're angry at you using church for speech, but Black churches have been bombed. In 1996, there were 200 Black churches that were burned. 12 years ago, Dylann Roof slaughtered 9 people at a church.
Now, what D.L. Hughley is saying is true about these bombings in church. Y'all know back in slavery days, the racist people used to go burn down churches all the time. The place where they prayed and everything. Oh, y'all praying? Y'all think God gonna get you out of this? We're gonna set the place on fire. That did used to happen. And like he said, remember the white boy that went in there and killed all them black people in the church? It wasn't like an outrage situation like it is right now that Don covered the church thing. And all they went in there did is screaming and hollering, Renee Good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
There were 200 Black churches that were burned. 12 years ago, Dylann Roof slaughtered 9 people at a church. So you can burn churches, you can shoot churches, you can bomb churches, but don't protest in church. It's the craziest thing.
Wait, talk more about that. But don't protest the churches. I mean, they weren't so mad when you protested and bombed the Black churches. So what are you saying explicitly, specifically?
I think Jesus protested in his temple. He protested in church. He didn't like the greed and corruption we saw. There are 2 times in the gospel Jesus protested twice.
Wow. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all agree with DL Hughley. Put a 2 if y'all don't. He said Jesus protest in church twice. Now I don't know. I'm not into religion at all. But is that true that Jesus protests in a church twice? Can you protest outside of a church? Just can't go inside. Half research. He did. Somebody saying he did. I don't think inside the church. I don't know. It's kind of deep. I'm learning as I go.
In his temple. He protested in church. He didn't like the greed and corruption we saw. There are 2 times in the gospel Jesus protested twice. So if he can do it, you can too. Yeah, I think it's ironic that the very people who.
Yeah, let me just clear you real quick. I wasn't protesting. I was just reporting. I wasn't there.
Of course you weren't. Of course you weren't. I understand that, but you got to explain that to.
See, Dom Lemon said he wasn't there
You gotta get my
protesting.
picture. I've never taken a picture with a class there before. That's so crazy. Of course you were. But the more salient point is that the very people who are angry that protests erupted in church are the very people who tried to, this administration tried to get courts to allow them to arrest migrants in church. Mm-hmm. They wanted to arrest them in church.
Mm-hmm. Is that true? Put a 1 in the chat if that's true. Put a 2 in the chat if that's false. D.L. Hughley said the same people that's going off about them going into protests in the church wanted to arrest migrants inside of a church. They wanted to arrest migrants inside of a church. Now, I'm just hearing this, guys. I'm just hearing this.
This administration tried to get courts to allow them to arrest migrants in church. Mm-hmm. They wanted to arrest them in church. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing about church is Jesus told us exactly how he wanted us to treat the stranger. He wanted us to feed them. He wanted to clothe them. He wanted to protect them. He didn't say, hey, after all that, throw them in vans and drive them to Venezuela. He didn't say that.
Yes, you're right. And look, I want you to stand by because I want to bring someone in. And that is Mr. Attorney General. Are you there? The Attorney General of Minnesota, Mr. Keith Ellison, is here. Thank you, Attorney General, for joining me. Thank you for joining DL.
Thanks, fellas. Wait a minute, I got a Klansman and the Attorney General. I've never been in this.
And that's the Attorney General of Minnesota, guys.
It's a waste before. This is
First time for everything, brother.
Attorney General, I know you know what's going on. I'm sure you've heard what's going on. What do you think of this and what happened at the church and all that?
Well, let me tell you, I think that, the protest is fundamental to American society. This country started in a protest, and, it's freedom of expression. People have a right to lift up their voices and make their peace. And none of us are immune from the voice of the public. So quite honestly, I think that you got the First Amendment, freedom of religion, and the freedom of First Amendment, freedom of expression. And I think that, it's just something you gotta live with in a society like this. So, this administration is real tender about things when it comes to their own interests, but they don't care about the same things when those things don't lie in their favor. So, they're getting tender about a church service now, but, these people they're arresting people in clinics, schools, churches, anywhere they choose to do it. And
wow, do y'all agree? Put a 1 in the chat. Do y'all agree with the Attorney General of Minnesota? Put a 2 if y'all don't agree. You know what I'm saying? You hear what he's saying. He's saying y'all arresting people all over the place, anywhere, but this whole church thing, y'all making a big deal about it, but y'all will arrest people at any place that they can.
And so they don't really care about sacred and sensitive places unless it works in their favor. And, they get real sensitive and real
about police until those police are protecting democracy, then they don't care about police suddenly. I mean, these people are highly selective, and I think that if people want to protest the behavior of a particular religious leader, then people are allowed to do that. That's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. Is this an attack on, to me, it feels like an attack on the First Amendment and trying to, and this is just my assessment, you don't have to agree with this, Mr. Attorney General, but trying to tie me as a journalist, to turn me into an activist, and I'm not. I was not there in activism at all. I was there just simply chronicling what they were doing, which is what journalists do all the time.
So he said, Dom Lemon said, I wasn't there protesting. You know what I mean? Look, you got people saying Dom Lemon, our hero. He wasn't there protesting. He was just doing his journalism job, and Nicki Minaj just crashed out on him and crashed out on his husband. You know what I'm saying? On his Caucasian husband and the LBG community. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't protesting. Look, you got some people saying he's lying. So I don't know. Fighting for criminals is disgusting. That's what Texas dude said. I can't bridge into private property and claim that you are using one. Wow, see, everybody got their own protesting criminals. See, people got their own shit.
Well, let me just remind you, John, they're over here throwing comedian. They're over here throwing comedians off the air for telling jokes. So Jimmy Kimmel's is off the air because he's making jokes. They won't. The Mad King won't let you say jokes about him. So the First Amendment is completely optional in their eyes. And let me tell you, the First Amendment includes freedom of the press, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, freedom to redress grievances. So that is absolutely under attack when FCC licenses are on the line based on whether or not you're congenial in the eyes of the president. So yeah, join the club. I know as journalists want to be objective, neutral, but the truth is, if you have an unjust ruler, objectivity is a threat to them. And so, sorry, but that's how it is, friend. Your First Amendment prerogatives are interfering with their tyrannical prerogatives, and that's how it is.
So they basically saying that the First Amendment right is being taken away. You don't have freedom of speech no more. Put a 1 in the chat. Do y'all agree with that? Put a 2 in the chat if y'all disagree.
Try to prosecute people for the activists, and they're saying that with me, but again, I'm not an activist. I'm not one of the protesters. And then what is it called? The KKK Act, right, DL, that they're saying? Oh, the Ku Klux Klan Act. Can you tell us about that? Are you familiar with that?
No, I can only say that.
I was asking the Attorney General if he's familiar.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the FACE Act.
Government that they think is tyrannical and brutal, but using the same power of the United States of America to squelch that same feast day.
This is all crazy, guys. Like I said, I don't know if Dom Lemon's going to get arrested. I don't know if Nicki Minaj is going to get deported. This is not the first time that they've been trying to deport Nicki Minaj. You know what I mean? I know Dom Lemon is calling for Donald Trump to deport her. The LBG community is trying to get her deported. It's just crazy, man. Like, that's why I say I don't really even like speaking on the political stuff, but it's like all over the place right now. You know what I'm saying? So
It's insane to me.
Deeply hypocritical, and I'm glad you pointed it out for people listening. When I heard him when he was talking about Iran, I was thinking that this guy has seen the light about all his bad behavior here, but he meant Iran. He's for human rights in Iran, freedom of expression in Iran, but not in the United States.
Right. So how is that America first? How is it that you will protect the rights of people thousands of miles? You're willing to use our national treasure and our military might. People forget that at the same time he used military prowess in Libya and in Somalia, in Venezuela. He used that same military to a greater or lesser degree in Los Angeles, in Minneapolis, in Chicago, and in DC, and in Portland. And there's no difference between the way he talked about the leader of Venezuela and the way he talked about Gavin Newsom or the governor of Minneapolis.
Do y'all agree with D.L. Hughley that Trump was doing this, or do y'all disagree? Put a 1 if y'all agree, put a 2 if y'all disagree. I'm letting y'all, as the people, say how y'all feel.
Well, can I just add on to that, John? And so I think that DL is absolutely right, and that's why I think we do need to reach out to the international community and tell them, look, we are dealing with a tyrannical ruler who is in violating the human rights, who's persecuting a state, who is attacking people based on whether they agree with him or not. He said overtly that his action against Minnesota was because we have not voted for him. He said, I won Minnesota 3 times, but they denied me my victory. So that's why I'm gonna let this shooting of Renee Goodbeat go by. I mean,
whoa, did y'all hear that? He said that Donald Trump said, since y'all didn't vote for me in Minnesota, I'm going to let Renee Good's murder go unjust. You know what I mean? Like nobody's gonna be charged for it. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think Donald said that. Put a 2 if y'all don't think he said that. Cause this is what the government is saying. That he said, look, you know what I mean? Y'all ain't vote for me, so why should I stand up for y'all? That's crazy. If he did, like, I don't know. I do not know. I don't know. I'm just hearing it like y'all.
and the mayor of Minneapolis and the governor of, I mean, these are clearly engaged in legal activity. So I would not tell anybody, oh, don't worry about that. That's an idle threat. I believe you will be vindicated. I will believe you will get justice. But between the moment that they try to arrest you or investigate you and when you're finally set free, I think you ought to take them seriously. I do.
DL, what were you saying?
I think that last week I watched the President of the United States of America talk about how civil rights was bad and unfair to white men. Now, civil rights wasn't called superior rights. It wasn't called equal rights. It was called civil rights. And the whole of the country burned up. People were hung. Dogs were sick on people. There were riots. All because you asked white people to be nice. Nice. Civility is the lowest form of human. You'll say, if I'm going to quote, I'm be civil. We have civil disobedience. This thing is about subjugation. It is about bringing people to heel. You cannot tell me freedom when you're denied. You know freedom to me when you try to deny it to other people. And the most basic freedom is the ability to say I object. I disagree. And all you did was chronicle it.
Put a 1 in the chat if y'all agree with DL. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all disagree.
Or fight for your right.
Talking about is Nicki Minaj. This is what Nicki Minaj tweeted about. And I think she's tweeted a couple things. But anyways, I usually don't respond, but I did. Can you put up the tweet? This is Nicki Minaj, and there's some colorful language in here. I don't see it. I'm not sure if you guys see it. Is it up, or am I just not seeing it?
Yeah, it's up.
There it is. Okay. She says that Don and she's sea sucking lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. By the way, I'm a Christian, so I don't know what she's talking about.
So Dom Lemon said to Nicki Minaj, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do nothing to the Christian religion because I'm Christian, because he's a Christian.
In lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. By the way, I'm a Christian, so I don't know what she's talking about. Lock him up. And then she has a Chucky doll. And my response to her DL was that it should have been a pick-me doll because that was more descriptive of her because she's such a pick-me.
I tell you what, her husband is a registered sex offender. Let's be clear. She's more worried about, I think they're safer around you than him. Her brother has been in jail. Let's be clear. If she shouldn't even mention kids, she should have been Cabbage Patch Kids, New Kids on the Block, Sour Patch Kids.
Wow. DL Hughley said Nicki Minaj shouldn't even be able to use the word kids because she has a brother that's a child sex predator and she has a husband that's a child sex predator. Allegedly, they're both like predators, and she shouldn't even be able to go out and buy a Patch doll. She shouldn't even be able to listen to New Kids on the Block. This is crazy.
Let's be clear. She's more worried about, I think they're safer around you than him. Her brother has been in jail. Let's be clear. If she shouldn't even mention kids, she should have been Cabbage Patch Kids, New Kids on the Block, Sour Patch Kids.
Kid Cudi.
Well, Don, all I want to say is I didn't know any of that.
He getting out of this.
No, but let me just say though, I didn't know any of this, but it sounds to me like she's trying to get her man a pardon, and so she's kissing ass real hard to certain people.
Yeah.
And maybe her brother. That's what I said today. Harvey Levin asked me on TMZ, and people say what they want about TMZ. TMZ has always been really good to me, and when they ask me to come on, I come on because they're straight shooters. Harvey Levin said what I saw was journalism, and then we talked about the whole Nicki Minaj thing, and I told him I don't usually respond to that, but Nicki Minaj, I believe, is trying to garner something from the Trump administration.
And you think,
Put a one in the chat if y'all think that Nicki Minaj is trying to get a pardon for Trump for her husband and her brother. Put a two in the chat if y'all don't think so. If y'all think that Nicki Minaj is a real diehard MAGA and she's not trying to be MAGA just so she can get a pardon.
I don't usually respond to that, but Nicki Minaj, I believe, is trying to garner something from the Trump administration.
And you would think that a woman that sang a song called Anaconda would know a snake when she saw it.
Hey, gentlemen,
You guys
I gotta bounce.
Thank you.
Don, DL.
Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if Nicki Minaj is trying to get a pardon or not. I don't really care, if what she believes in or anybody believes in, to be honest. Everybody has a right to believe what they want to believe, date whoever you want to date, whatever the case may be. But I feel like it's too much tension when it comes down to the political thing. But since I know that this is going on with Nicki Minaj and Dom Lemon threatening to get each other locked up and deported, I just spoke on it. You know what I mean? I'm just literally seeing the video of the people storming the church. Like I literally just saw that video for the first time last night. So and that's why she went in on Dom Lemon and Dom Lemon's husband. So that's why I reacted to it. But other than that, guys, I really don't care. And I'm like, it's gonna be a long time before I react to this stuff. And that's so funny when I'm in Hollywood gossip, people be like, yo, Jamel, why don't you talk about what's really going on in the world? This is why I don't. This is exactly why I don't speak about what's going on, because you got to pick a side. If somebody think you on this side, they're going to be mad at you. If they think that you're on that side, they're going to be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? So I just rather not even speak on the shit. You know what I'm saying? And stick to what I'm doing. Comedy, reacting, Hollywood gossip, because this type of stuff, it doesn't work for me. And my system don't even push that shit. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to y'all guys. All I did was react to what's going on. If Nicki gonna get deported, I don't give a fuck. If Dom Lemon gonna get deported, truthfully, I don't give a fuck. Either which way. You know what I mean? I'm just telling y'all what's going on. Salute We'll be back later. Pure survival.